Hi and welcome back. So, today I am going to be interviewing Natasha Marshall Photography. Now, Tash is a wedding photographer who is based in both England and Ibiza. She lives in Ibiza, she's lived there since the age of 22, and she also helps run a restaurant in Ibiza called Nando's. Hi Tash, how are you?
Hi, I'm excited and nervous. It's like a job interview.
My first person.
Yay! Professional.
Thanks, I've got a notebook and everything. So the first thing I want to talk about is the lockdown in Spain, because obviously everyone's saying like how different it's been compared to the UK. So I was just wondering your view on it really.
Well, it all happened really quickly because it was my birthday on the 11th of March, and then we were out and about doing normal things, sort of knowing that it was getting bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about Italy, Italy, Italy at that time. And then all of a sudden, the night of the 14th, which was, I think it was a Saturday, we were just told from midnight tonight, all bars and pubs shut. From tomorrow, it is full lockdown. And everyone was like, what? And then that was just it. And then I think on that Saturday was when everyone went out panic buying here, but it wasn't as bad as it was in England. You could still get stuff. Um, but like it was just mobbed everywhere and people were panicking. But again, it wasn't as bad. And then that was it. We were just in lockdown, and the only thing you were allowed to go out for was essential shopping. And I sort of had this bright idea of thinking, oh, what I'll do is I'll just go out and I'll go to the shops every day and I'll just get dinner for that night.
Yeah.
But if you were caught with shopping that only had a few bits, it was obvious that that's what you were doing, you would get a fine.
Is it
And
really that bad?
yeah, and the fines here were €1,000 as well. And
How?
I know a few people that got fines. So it was true. It wasn't just a scare tactic. Um, so yeah, like I know a guy that got a fine because he had somebody else in the car with him. It was that strict. You weren't allowed to go out in the car with anybody else other than yourself. So he was out with somebody else in the car, I don't know who it was, friend or whatever, and got pulled over by the Guardia, and he got €1,000 fine. And you think €1,000, that's a lot of money. So yeah, and then I got stopped. I think it was Easter. It was just before Easter Friday, so it was on the Thursday, and I was planning just a nice Sunday lunch for us because by that point we'd been in lockdown for about 3 weeks, I think,
Mhm.
and I was just fed up and I wanted an Easter egg and I wanted some wine, but I had most of the food in the house. So I went down to, we've got a British supermarket here, which is like a Waitrose. And I went down there and I thought, I'm just going to buy an Easter egg and a bottle of wine and just risk it. Anyway, when I got in the shop, thankfully, I thought, oh, actually, I need that, and I need that, and I could do with that. So I ended up buying quite a lot of stuff, as you do. And thank God I did, because on the way out, I walked straight into two Guardia, and they went rifling through my bag, checking the receipt, making sure that like all my shopping was legit, that it was still cold from the fridges, checking the time on the receipt, that I hadn't been somewhere else, and trying to match everything up. And yeah, if I'd have just walked out with an Easter egg and a bottle of wine, I think I would have got in a lot of trouble.
Are they as good looking as what people are saying, or is that a lie?
Wasn't, no. He was someone's grumpy uncle.
Oh no!
Ah,
Not
and then
only.
we had the 8 o'clock clapping every night as well. So
Yeah, I think that's a
yeah,
nice idea what everyone's doing with the clapping.
yeah. So
Just
yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
so with your shopping then, moving on to a bit of you, are you still vegan?
No,
Have you given up?
it's so hard. It's so hard. Eggs. I just can't stop eating eggs. It's just so easy. Like I'll have an omelette sometimes just for dinner. So, and
They're in
especially at
everything
the
as well,
moment,
aren't they?
yeah, at the moment I'm not eating very many like hot meals because it's getting quite hot. So I like to have a salad. So
Oh,
I'm not eating like beans and legumes and things like because I'm still vegetarian. So I
okay.
wasn't getting enough protein because I wasn't making all these like hearty stews and stuff.
Hmm.
and I just thought I need to eat some eggs. So it's just nice to have some eggs in the morning, and or like cold boiled eggs on dinner or some on salad or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, but it's not even the chocolate. I prefer dark chocolate. I can eat that, and I don't drink milk. I have coconut rice milk or almond milk.
Mm-hmm.
It's only eggs really. That's it.
Eggs.
Bit of cheese, but again, I can take it or leave it. Once you've not had it for a long time, you don't really miss it.
Yeah, no, I get that. So,
Mm.
where in Ibiza would you recommend if you are veggie or vegan to go for a meal?
Or my favourite place is a place called Skinny Kitchen, and that's near where I live in San Antonio, and it's amazing. I've been going there since day one, since when they first opened. So I'm sort of quite good friends with the owner and stuff. I've done a lot of their photography actually,
Okay.
um, so I'd always plug them. And then there's a chain of healthy eating sort of veggie vegan restaurants around Ibiza called Passion Cafe,
Hmm.
and we've got one of them here as well, and they do lovely sort of brunch type places. None of these places are open at the moment, of course, and generally they're only open in the summer as well. So if I'm here in winter, I don't really get to enjoy them.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of eating at home.
So, do you prefer it in the summer, like in season, or do you prefer it when it's quiet and?
I prefer it in the middle or at the end.
Okay.
So I prefer it like in May or October
Hmm.
when it's quieting down a little bit and it's not as hot, but places are still open because
Yeah.
they're either getting ready and getting open, but it's not got busy with tourists yet, or they're just slowly closing down. And again, all the tourists have kind of gone. And again, like the heat starts here, then it peaks, and then it gets cooler again. But you know that because you were here in October and it was
Cold in the
bearable.
evenings.
Mm.
Uh,
So yeah, I'd say probably I prefer the bookends of the summer.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Has your photography been affected much? Or?
Massively. Yes, it has affected my business, unfortunately. I've had to move everybody from my diary from May and June this year to May and June next year. Um, I've got a few in July still holding on. August and September and October have stayed relatively the same. But there's a few people that want to move because they're just unsure of the situation. They just want the whole fear factor to be gone.
Mhm.
But there's a few just hanging on just to wait and see what happens. So personally, if it was me, I would just want to move to next year and get it over and done with and take the fear away. But not everybody works like
Right,
that.
I think I'd probably be the same. Just get it moved, get it done.
Yeah, but then they've had their hearts set. Some of these people have had their weddings booked for 2 or 3 years, and they've been dreaming of it to happen this year, and then it's not going to, and oh, it's just horrible.
It is, it's awful. I'd hate to be in that situation.
Yeah, me too.
You obviously do England and Ibiza. Have you managed to like keep them both in, or have you noticed a difference between the Ibiza weddings to the English weddings
What in terms of COVID?
in terms of COVID?
Yeah, so I had a couple in June in the UK, and they've moved to the end of the summer. So actually, they're sort of doing late October.
Mhm.
But I actually had to send out a very painful email today to all my UK brides saying I won't be travelling back.
Yeah.
So we've had to make alternative arrangements because even though there's still a couple of months for these people, I've got some in August, September, and October. I don't think it's fair to make them wait and see what happens. I think that if I was a bride, I would just want to know. And so, yeah, we're just sort of working out arrangements now to get their days covered. But, I mean, they might even have to move their weddings to next year, and then it may not be a problem, and I can still do it.
Yeah, no, I
Just,
think we're quite a lot behind Ibiza on that side of things, so
yeah.
you probably won't even be able to travel anywhere by then.
No. And
No.
I mean, they not even be able to hold events in August and September still. I mean, it's just all a waiting game, isn't it? But at the same time, I think you've got to have a plan of action.
Yeah,
Just,
definitely.
you know, so when it does happen, you're prepared. And then if it doesn't happen, great.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
very true. So, what would you say your top tips for anyone who's trying to get into photography or just starting out? Would you recommend it? What would you one bit of advice you'd give them?
Invest in a decent camera.
Hmm.
You can. I mean, there's cheaper ones on the market, and some of them are brilliant. But as someone who started off from this and has worked their way up, it's just the difference in quality is just unbelievable.
Is that?
Yeah, it really is. If you can afford it and you can get the top of the range stuff, then it will just make you far more passionate about what you're shooting, because everything just looks, when you've got quality glass in a lens, everything just looks way more appealing than it does in some of the lower. But you know, I mean, if you just want something to bash around and practice on, then obviously they're still brilliant cameras. But just as someone, yeah, who has sort of worked their way up through the ranks over the years, and every year I've been able to afford that bit better kit, and every year you just think, oh my god, this just looks amazing, and the image quality is just so much better and just makes you more creative.
Yeah, no, I get that. And my last question is, if you could recommend 5 places in Ibiza, where would you say to go?
5 places to go to
Anywhere.
Ibiza. Well, there'd had to be a beach.
Okay.
So my favourite beach is called Calavidea,
Okay.
which is gorgeous. That's my favourite one. You'd have to have a decent meal somewhere, lovely restaurant.
Yeah.
There's a really cool place called Leo, which is spelled Lio,
Okay.
and it's right on the water, and it's like a cabaret, and they have these amazing shows like while you're eating, and it's every like 10 minutes they're doing a new act, and it's singing and dancing, and I mean, it's a very expensive meal. It's about £200 minimum, but it's worth it. And then you'd want to go to a nightclub.
Yeah.
My personal favourite is probably Pasha, because it's like one of the original ones, and it's just really Spanishy in there, and it's the first Ibiza club I ever went to. I went to go see Calvin Harris there, and I just absolutely loved it from the minute I walked in.
So do they have quite a few like celebrities there, or is
what, DJing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
most nights it'll be someone famous. I mean, the big DJs like Calvin Harris, he'll probably only do like 4 dates in a summer.
Yeah.
But it depends on your style of music. People find different people famous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so my
favorite is
different to somebody else's they get excited about. That's 3.
That's 3.
Yeah. Esvedra is iconic for Ibiza. It's like a lookout point on a cliff edge, and it's just the most beautiful scenery, and there's like this sort of triangular rock out in the ocean that's called Esvedra, and the sun sets sort of around it depending on the time of year. It moves around obviously, but I've been there and I've seen dolphins and stuff, and it's just really peaceful and lovely and amazing. And then I'd probably say go for a walk around the old town as well, around Dolt Villa. There's and there's beautiful shops all the way, so it's quite a long walk, and you kind of snake up a hill, and then when you get to the top there's like a castle, but all the way up there's like old sort of Spanish houses where people live, little cafes and restaurants and little boutique shops and stuff. So yeah, that's nice to be doing as well.
That sounds really nice, actually. I want to go there now.
It'll be great this year.
Yeah, obviously. No.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
So that concludes today's interview. Oh my goodness, how different is Spain compared to England? It's like completely different. It's so good actually to hear a different perspective on how they've found lockdown. Obviously they've still had the 8 o'clock clapping, which I just think is such a brilliant idea. All coming together to support the NHS and the key workers. I just think it's brilliant. I'm out there every week, and this week I have actually got a thank you with a rainbow top. I got one for me, mum and dad, so we'll all be wearing that. But yeah, it was so good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, getting Tash's 5 recommendations of where to go in Ibiza. You can obviously read stuff on the internet, and that's from people who have been there, but this is from someone who actually lives in Ibiza. I really can't wait to get back there. Hopefully, once all this lockdown is over, I can get back there and I can visit some of them places. Now, I hope you all enjoyed my first interview. Obviously, it was my first. I did have a couple of bleeps at the beginning, so I basically set up everything, and as I set it up, I kicked my water and it went everywhere. I kid you not, it has gone all under my bed. But you know, this is what my channel is about. I don't just want it to be all seriousness and whatever. Like, I just want to be able to share what I'm doing with everyone. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please, 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 please do subscribe. Those who have subscribed, I can't thank you enough. And those who have shown me constant support, again, thank you so much. Now, I've got so much lined up for the next few weeks, or several weeks should I say, and I just can't wait to share it all with you. So stay tuned, keep in touch via Instagram and my Facebook pages, and Twitter, that are just at Alicia K Official, and hopefully I'll speak to you all soon. See you later.